things you suck at. Now, I know that sounds like a pretty weird statement, and it seems slightly counterintuitive, but let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I had this friend named The Viewer tell me about how excited he is to start this new passion or hobby or whatever it was. Whether it was playing the guitar, skateboarding, or writing fan fiction for The Office. Just kidding. Nobody plays the guitar. Anyways, a few months later, he told me about how frustrated he is. He feels like he sucks. Every single time he tries to go into it, he's not progressing at all, and it feels like he's stuck in an endless loop where he never learns anything. And to his surprise, my reaction was, good, keep sucking. It's what you need to do. He was kind of surprised, but he kept going, and a few months later, he is one of the best Office fan fiction writers I know. Now, what's the reason I'm telling you to do things you suck at? And what's the reason I'm qualified? Well, it's because I suck at a lot of things. And I'm just here to give my 2 cents, which is all I could make if I try to use my hobbies as a career. Okay, so I have some blog posts, some sources, and they're not the most credible, but they provide some good information. Now, the first one, Camtasia, is this blog post, and it's talking about the reason we quit our hobbies, and that's what these things are about. And the first reason is that we feel worse when we're comparing ourselves to others, which I think is very true. I mean, how many times have you been feeling good about something, and then you watch someone else on Instagram do it way better than you probably feel a bit worse, and makes you want to give up a little bit more, because you feel like you're not progressing at all. Another reason that he said was disapproval and rejection, which I think is very true. I mean, I've been told that I'm not good at skateboarding, and it didn't make me feel the most hopeful, you know? It made me want to give up more, definitely. And then we have this other Quora post about why people quit their hobbies, and this guy's answer is way more philosophical than I had thought, but just read it for yourself. See what you think, but basically saying it's for the good of humanity, which I think is a little extreme. Here's another thing. If you really suck at something, or you feel like you suck at it, and you still do it, and you keep doing it, it really shows that you really love it and that you have a passion for it. So it clearly shows that this is something you should be doing, whether you suck or not, because you're doing it. But I know how much those ruts suck, so here's some little thingies that I've observed that might help you. Now, the first one is you don't actually suck as much as you think you do, and our views on ourselves is way more biased, and it's not exactly the truth. I mean, whether you think more highly of yourself or whether you're harder on yourself, I mean, it's hard to see really whether you're progressing or not. Now, here's a little practical tip for you. Do easier things as like a building block to the thing you really want to learn. So if you play the piano, for example, and try to learn a complicated piece by Beatsart or, Beethoven or whatever, and you feel like you're not learning anything, learn something easy like Mary Had a Little Lamb, depending on if that's easy or not, and just learn it and just feel good, because now you can play that song, and it wasn't that hard for you. But when you first started playing the piano, it was really hard for you, and it would have been. And the last tip and the last thing I have for you is sometimes you just have to grit your teeth and go through it. I mean, this can last months, days, weeks, hours, but no matter how long it lasts, once you get to the other side, it will feel so much better. But in that period of time, it is pretty hopeless. I remember when I was trying to learn kickflips, I'd probably spend 3 hours a day just flicking it over and over and over again, just hoping that one time I'll just land it. But I was nowhere close. I would never be anywhere close every single try. I felt so lost, like I should just give up and skateboarding wasn't my thing, because I spent probably like 20 hours in 2 weeks trying to learn one trick, and I developed nowhere close to it. It's such a terrible feeling. While some people can get in like 5 hours, oh my gosh, it is the worst feeling in the world. I remember when I was just practicing kickflips in my basement, sometimes I would just break and I would just start crying. And I could see the tears, land on my board. And I would just go, please just land a kickflip, just spin, let me jump and just land on it. And I would just cry and I would just keep going. Once you go through that dark phase and you get to the other side, it's the greatest feeling in the world, and it's just amazing. To give you guys one last little piece of motivation, I'm gonna show you how far I've come in my hobbies and passions to maybe spark something in you guys. So here it is. Jim was staring at Pam across the window.